All right, so excuse my hair. Not because I just, I was just laying down. I wasn't planning on, um, you know, obviously I don't really want to talk about this stuff on the channel no more, but it's just a thought, and I just want to get my thoughts out and stuff like that. Um, it's just sad for young men around me, especially Christian young men my age. Um, like our female counterpart have way more, I would even say social life experiences, but our female counterpart have a whole lot more relationships more than the young men, and it's just so sad. There's an attack on men. There's an attack on men to to be masculine, but not be fully masculine, and that's the part that sucks. And it's most common for Christian men, the soy boy Christian man. And I can't sit there and just let a woman tell me what to do. Like I don't understand that concept. Like I don't get it. Toxic masculinity? No. Narcissists in the church? No. And you've seen the title. I really think Christian men should not. Excuse the background. We have company over, but I just really don't think that Christian men, especially pure, chaste, virgin Christian men, should wife up, women, who's not, virgins and stuff like that, and who hasn't, who slept around stuff like that. Our female counterparts having all these life experiences, specifically relationship experiences. Our female counterpart is over our young women specifically. Young men and young women, my generation, Gen Z. The Gen Z Christian women had way more boyfriends than the Gen Z Christian man that had girlfriends. Some of us probably never had one, and look at me. I'm an example of that, all right? I don't want to talk about my struggles. I'm just talking about from a young Christian man in general. In a general sense. So, I just really don't think it's a good idea for Christian young men to be seeking relationships at all from, especially if they're virgins, from these young women that have a crazy past, sleeping around and everything. And if not sleeping around, they have a whole, I might have to talk louder than them, and if they're not sleeping around, they had a whole bunch of boyfriends. So what's going on with them? They don't even have to be sleeping around. They probably had a whole bunch of boyfriends, and they probably toxic from that way. They're so used, they always dating the bad boys and everything. Like, in this whole feminism thing, and I really have to, I mean, I have to give credit where credit's due. Pearl Daly, she's, really calling out the hypocrisy with these women, these feminist Christian women, and everything. And I really, but at the same time, she's still a woman, though. Ain't no man gonna listen to no woman. That's just a fact. And then on top of that, they want to get, oh my gosh, look. Even me, I was attacked for voting for Trump, okay? Verbally speaking. Like, you don't like black women. What's wrong with you? You don't like women. It's just all that stuff. What are you talking about? I never said that. I might have said I'm not attracted to black women, but I never said I never liked them. Me voting for Donald Trump, I said to the person I love, I voted for Donald Trump based on Christian principles. He ain't no Christian. I mean, obviously, he's probably not. But if I don't get no divine intervention from God, if I don't hear from God to tell me to vote for somebody, I'm going to go by the biblical defaults. I'm going by the book. That's where my votes comes from. Okay, they just dancing on it. I thought somebody was coming upstairs, but that's where my vote came from. Like, you hate black women. Like, what the heck? What the heck? And the only reason why I'm so, I know I might be a little all over the place, but they all are connected. This whole feminist movement in the church is crazy. Like, like, like it's sad. Like, it's really sad how I was even raised. I was raised in a Christian household, very strict Christian religious household. The men weren't allowed to, the men we weren't allowed to have our hair long. We always had to have our hair cut and stuff like that. You know, the men got to dress up all the time in church. The females, they can't wear pants, especially tight pants and stuff like that. Yeah, we were indeed quite a religious family back in the day. But I was raised in a very religious church, very religious. However, it was very feministic, very feministic. I knew it from a young age. There are too many females over me, too much female leadership over me. I knew it. I always wanted an older brother, but never had one. So I'm over here growing up in a feminist like church. They talking about, oh, would you marry? Is she pretty, Ray? And that woman is fat. No, no, that's wrong. You can't say that. That's mean. Man, they are so loud. This is the normal. This is what I gotta deal with every day. But that's mean, Ray. That's not a man of God. Real man of God will accept her for who she is. And obviously, as a young man, a young kid, as late as 18, even 17, obviously we gonna feel pressured. Obviously, I felt pressured as a young man that if I'm gonna be a young man of God, a nice righteous man of God, then I have to accept the woman I'm not even attracted to. I have to marry her, and I have to support all her independence, and I don't need a man type junk. Like that's terrible. That's terrible that a lot of young men can't have standards, and if he's Christian, that's even worse. He the main one who can't have standards, because this is why we need male leadership. I have to talk louder. This is why we need male leadership, because we over here, a lot of these young men, young Christian men, these Christian young men are sitting over here inexperienced with women, and every single time they try to approach women in church, you should not approach a woman in church. You shouldn't approach her in church. You should wait until God send you a wife and stuff like that. So then, next thing you know, he's still a virgin at a later than usual age and stuff like that, still alone and single. They like, why aren't you married yet? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? When I was young, 18 or 20, or in my early 20s, y'all told me that I shouldn't be approaching women. You should be focusing on your relationship with God, and that's what we've been doing all our time. What time is it? 8 minutes. That's what we've been doing, and now we focus on our relationship with God, and then our money and ourselves, and now we're virgins at a later than usual age, with little to no experience in relationships. Now, the woman that they choose to get is very feministic. Very feministic. And as soon as he put his foot down, you're a toxic man. And then that's the part I don't like. This is the part I don't like. Especially, oh my gosh, if they have children on top of that, oh my gosh, the couple that gets married because of her feminist, this simp boyfriend, this Christian simp. That's the problem with the church. This church that has a lack of masculinity. It's full of feminists, and these pastors ain't no better. What's his name? At the New Birth Church missionary in Georgia, Pastor Jamal Bryant. Him. I don't understand why in the world would he arrange a meeting, arrange a whole entire service for, Kamala Harris. I don't know why in the world he would do some junk like that as a pastor. And apparently he cheats on his wife and stuff like that. He has a new wife now, but apparently she ain't dressing too to modest. And one of the first things I noticed in it is more females in the church. It's not just his church; it's happening a lot in a lot of churches. A lot. I understand why men don't want to go to church. I honestly don't want to go to church. I'm not gonna lie, because it's full of females. I understand the church is full of sinners and full of a hospital for sinners, a hospital for Christians. I get that part, but like I said, this was a huge, big awakening to me when I was 21ish years old. And when I was 21 years old, when I found out that the women in church aren't so pure after all, that they slept around with, God knows, literally He knows, all their boyfriends, while I'm sitting over here being told, don't use a woman for her body and stuff like that. Protect her, do not make her a whore and all that stuff. And then next thing you know, I'm expected to find a good woman in the biblical by text, the biblical text version of a woman is Proverbs 31, who is equally yoked, is virgins with virgins, virgin man with a virgin woman. But a lot of these women in the church ain't virgins. A lot of these young women, the same, my female counterpart, 25 years old, likely is not a virgin because they slept with their boyfriends. I understand some women fall victim to bad men, but at the same time, women, they keep falling for the same men. They keep choosing these same men, and it sucks. So it really sucks. 11 minutes. I don't want to talk too long, but that's why I really think the Christian man specifically, the young Christian man, really need to do their research, really need to get out there and, just get out there and read and do research and understand this female nature thing. Because the first time a man listens to a woman, it screwed up the entire society, the entire world, the entire of humanity. So why in the world we're still listening to him? That's the problem. All these men in church are listening to these women these days. That's because there ain't no real man up in there. There ain't no masculine man. But every single time there is a real man of God, a biblical man of God, y'all want to call him toxic because he's putting his foot down, trying to lead. And they hate they hate it when the Bible tells their wives to submit to their husbands. They hate that verse. They hate it. That just proves right there that you are indeed Eve's daughter. This is nothing against women. I'm just saying this whole feminist ideology, and then on top of that, y'all confuse society. And one thing I don't understand, that this is okay. Look, I seen something today that the elder generation has no say. They have absolutely no business to be talking about my generation's dating life. They have absolutely no business to be. They need to stay out of their lane. Stay in your elder lanes. Stop worrying about what we're doing. Focus on what you're doing. You failed to teach us. Y'all the ones who gave feminists what they wanted. Now that feminists are so independent and don't need no man, a Christian woman saying that is a huge problem. A lot of red flags there. But now that the boomers gave the feminists what they wanted, they can't figure out why in the world young people ain't having children. And this administration, I know I voted for Trump and everything, but and I plan to vote for him even in the next election if he's on a ticket. But this current administration don't understand either. This is the problem with the Republicans, the conservatives. They over here in Vance talking about why aren't we having babies? Oh, it's because we always watch the young men. They're too busy on their phones and stuff like that, which is true. But why though? Because every single time a man, when we were young growing up, we were told to conquer the world. We were told I don't even say conquer the world. We were told to be obedient, listen to the system, and everything. And we did exactly that. And now guess what? Now that we listened to the system, we didn't challenge the system. Y'all confused why in the world. Look, with all due respect, Vice President Vance, I know I voted for you and everything, but at the same time, you have no business talking about what's going on in our dating life, okay? Yes, we could put the phone down more. I agree. But things aren't the same now. Things are not the same. And then on top of it, don't get me started with the economy. 15 minutes. All right, I need to conclude. In conclusion, Christian men, you need to be more masculine. And if you might have to take the Paul route. I don't know if it's Paul or Peter, but one of them. Sometimes even being single is just the way it's gonna have to. It's better off to be single versus settle with some ex whore. You know, I hate to bring her up again, but Nala Ray's husband, I made a whole entire video about him, pretty much. Um, it's just terrible, and I just really don't think. And they over here talking about it. I've been called a pet before, and I'm over here letting them get to me. I honestly wanted to myself. This was last year when I was feeling like this. Yep. Yeah, but all because I preferred younger women. Or if they're not younger women, they're women my age, but they're skinny. That sounds like a child. Excuse my French. Excuse my French. But yeah, it just make no sense. It make no sense. When Christian men, honestly, at this point, it's kind of better. Christian virgin men, young Christian, young virgin men, my age. I understand we're men, we're male, we want sex. I get it. We have our hormones and all that stuff. I get it, but I'm just saying. I mean, in a sense, biblically speaking, it would be better to marry the whore, but spiritually speaking, she's imprinted. Now, why in the world you gonna take all of her spiritual demons and get that on you? That's all I'm saying. So, Christian men, do something, okay? Find a way to grow some masculinity. Get masculine, okay? I'm working on it even myself. Yeah. Especially, we need to fight against this feminist movement. They're gonna call us all kinds of names and everything, but doing things biblically, doing it the right way, rubs feminists the wrong way. They don't like that, and it's even worse that Christian women are like this. Yeah, and I really, really think Christian virgin men should not be with Christian non-virgin women. They're Christian, yes, and that's technically all we would need. But I'm just saying, especially, yeah, Nalare's husband. Like, oh my gosh, never me. I'm sorry, I cannot. That's just kind of disgusting. I can't do it. It's literally disgusting. More power to those men, but at the same time, it's very simpish. You're putting your woman in charge in the sense, but I'm just saying that was just on my thoughts. I don't think so. And I made a whole entire video saying I'm helping God cut off my bloodline. In a sense, I am, because I don't want to settle. I don't want no non-virgin woman as a virgin guy, 25 years old. And then the older I get, the more there ain't gonna be no virgin women. I already know that. As soon as I start looking at a younger woman as young as 18, same feministic junk. That's it. That's all I can say. What y'all think? Christian virgin men, don't get with Christian non-virgin women. That's what I gotta say. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe.